Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my show about whitewater things. In today's episode, I kind of want to talk about my opinions about the different Saywer oar locks. These aren't facts. I could be totally wrong here, but just my opinion. And this, again, like a lot of my videos, I'm going to share my thoughts. And if you know better information, or you're with Saywer and want to correct me, or you just are smarter than me, please, in the comments, tell me I'm wrong. But these are my opinions using oar locks. A lot of you know that I love pins and clips. For me, I like using pins and clips on harder whitewater. On class 3 stuff, multi-day stuff, I run oar locks all the time, so I have a lot of experience with these. So just quickly, first, this is the classic, the Saywer A oar lock. It's really simple. I think this is the bomb. This is a great oar lock. There's no reason to not get this. It's straightforward, it's simple, it's tried and true, it's great. Saywer, after the A, came out with a Cobra. And this is the Cobra. It has a cool name, it looks cool, it's beefy. This one's fine. I'm not a big fan, and partially because I bought a bunch of these for our guides a few years, and all of our guides didn't like them. And they're expensive, so they're just sitting in a box right now, and all of our guides wanted the A's, and they told me why, and I'll tell you in a second. And then finally, the Canyon oar lock, which is a new one, which I kind of think is maybe the best. This is probably my new favorite right now, and I'll explain why really quick here in a second. So just a couple things. When you're looking for oar locks, I think there's a couple key things. One of them is you want this to bend. You want this to be a material that gives, so that if the oar pops out, it's allowed to pop out. It doesn't just break. So I want a material that gives, and I personally want a pretty flat surface right here. I don't know if that makes sense. Like the A is really flat. The Canyon has a little bit of concaveness, and the Canyon has a lot of concaveness. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you know what that does is if it's flat, and you put an oar in here, and you're rowing, if the oar gets too vertical, it'll cause it to pop out. And for me, I don't want my oars really vertical. You can't row effectively like this. And when oars are vertical, that's when they snap and they pop. And so by using the Cobra, this is my opinion, it has a lot more concaveness to it. When I put the Cobra, I can't do it right now, but when I put the Cobra on here, the oar can get more vertical. And that just, to me, allows for sloppy boating. I think especially when you're learning, you need to have some sort of punishment for mistakes. And when you make mistakes with a A-lock, it's gonna pop out pretty quick when the oar gets vertical. To my opinion, having vertical oars is a bad thing. And again, this allows for that and allows for sloppy rowing, and you don't usually get better. Now, people do like this if they stand up a lot, because if they're standing up, they want an oar that goes down pretty good. So if you're doing the Grand Canyon a bunch, or doing rivers where you wanna stand up, you may want the Cobra, but if you're not going to stand up, I personally don't think this is a good idea. So the Canyon, though, I think is a pretty good compromise. I think it allows the oar to go a little bit more vertical, not be as strict or as difficult as the oar lock, but also pop the oar if it gets too vertical. The really cool thing about the Canyon is they put this extra material here, and imagine falling on the oar lock like this. It's going to hurt. Like, it could be pretty painful. This little bit of material is going to help you. If you fall on it, it's still going to hurt, but not be as bad as this. So it's still not awesome. If like, let's say you flip the boat back over and the airlock hits you in the head, this is still awful, but better than this disaster, and better than the Cobras, which look like this. So I'm becoming, for overnight trips, personally a fan of this. It's beefier material. To me, it looks like it's less likely to break. The only downside of this is it's harder to pound both the Cobra and the Canyon. It's hard to pound them down with rocks if you need to adjust how wide or narrow they are. So, you know, with the A, it's pretty easy, a couple pounds, and it's really easy to tune these, change them. Pliers can almost do this. Because there's more material, you can change the shape of this. It's just a little bit harder. So I would personally steer away from these NRS. I think this is the Super Strong oar locks, and the NRS oar locks in general, because they don't bend. And what will happen is, what could happen, in my opinion, I could be wrong, is the oar gets in there, and because they don't bend, it snaps the oars. And I have several friends who have snapped oars using these NRS oar locks. I would highly recommend getting these Saywer ones, because the brass does bend and allow the oar to pop out, and you can change it for your oar. So those are some quick thoughts. I'm not expert on these, but I do hope to give more detailed reviews of the different oar locks down the road. These are my quick thoughts, and just to sum them up really quick, I think that A-lock is just tried and true. This is a solid oar lock. You cannot go wrong with this. This is what most people probably should be using. If you want to spend a little more money and get something that I think is inferior but has a cool name, that's the Cobra. Yeah, it's for most people, it has a cool name, it looks cool, costs more money. If you want to buy this, sweet, get the Cobra. A lot of you love it, great. Hopefully you're standing up rowing a bunch. And then finally, the Canyon, which is kind of a dorky name. I would have called this like the Pit Viper or something, so it sounded cool like the Cobra. Something that just sounds tough, like the Black Mamba. This would be a cool Black Mamba. You know, in my opinion, having used this a bit, I think this thing is sweet. So consider the Canyon, aka Mamba Orlock, if you're looking for something good. So those are my thoughts. Again, I learned from these videos. I could be totally off base and all this stuff. If I'm wrong, I am wrong. No, I'm absolutely wrong. When I am wrong on something I said, just put a comment down there and be like, Zach, you are wrong. The Cobras are the bomb. They look cool. They're the best. Let me know. And if you agree with me, that's cool too. You can agree with me if you want, but I really want to learn. So if I'm wrong about that stuff, the whole point of this video is to help me get better. This is very selfish. So please help me get better in my knowledge of Orlocks. And don't forget to subscribe and like and think about becoming a member. And yep, that's it for this episode. See you next time. Thanks.